Hello and how do you do to everyone watching? This is Hambbage, and we're going to kick into another hardcore vanilla Minecraft play session. Glad to have you with me, and hope life is treating you good. So, let's get that slide out of the way. There we go. NP is not NP. Fair enough. Get the world brushed back off here, knock off virtual dust, try to remember where we were at and what we were doing. We came out of a bee-tacular adventure, as I recall, right out of the gate. You know what? Let's just do a whole deal. Okay, so now I can get my bucket back, but I think that this fire is going to last a long time, and I don't know. Probably works most ideally if you have a hopper setup where you're continually feeding ingredients in, and then you have another one pulling them out as they cook, so you can just continually cook stuff. But it was all in fun. We wanted the advancement to get a bucket of lava. We did it. We won't have to worry about it again. Oh, I didn't bring the bucket. I was going to get milk. Just to have. What the hell's on there? Okay. So, what's on tap? What do we got going? Everybody fired up? It's a beautiful, it promises to be a beautiful day. It's very early, but oh my goodness. First of all, yesterday was spectacular. I'd kind of alluded to that on the gaps in between the videos. I was getting outside and trying to enjoy it, and did eventually, kind of afternoon and evening time was set up. I was going to go hang out with some friends. We threw some discs. I'm a bad but enthusiastic disc golf player. That's something I enjoy to do. It's it's outdoors. I think I've said this before. I used to like to play real golf quite a bit. Not, I still do. I'm not opposed to it, but I think, between time, equipment costs, and all that kind of stuff, as you get older and you just have more competing things going on in your life, because see how the fire's not going down at all here? Now, we're not going to hang around. I'm going to let that waste, and sorry. that's how it's going to be. But I had checked, I think it was the end of the last episode, I had wanted, oh no, oh, this isn't good at all. Now will it, no! I looked this up. Is it a smooth stone slab or something dumb like that? Alright, hang on just a second, guys. It's gonna be a bump on the mic. 1 second. Sorry, but I can't let this one go. This is it's too critical to our gameplay, or at least to my well-being here. A smooth stone slab. Oh my goodness. Alright, so good thing we made that full stack of stone. smooth stone? No. No. Do I need the grindstone? The stone cutter? Oh, so... Alright. This is why you try to figure these things out off stream. But you guys, I don't hide the truth from my receptive viewers. No. Other people may set all this up in advance. Smooth stone. And I'm just going to the wiki here. Chestnut smelting. Oh, we gotta smelt the stone again. That's right. Oh my goodness. We'll get there. How many of these do we have left? Oh, I don't want to sit around all day waiting for stone to cook. Take that. Again, sorry, this is a very bumpy start, but I had really wanted to make that armor stand. It was something I was trying to do. Alright, we need just 3, then the rest of them can cook on. We don't have to supervise. So we got a few little crafting items there, which are pretty cool, actually. I'm kind of glossing over them all just to get this done. Now, hey, woohoo! All right. So yeah, we got some smooth stone, another variety of the just the standard, base cobblestone that then comes up from there. Now we don't have a real good, maybe there. And then let's go get our, this was for our iron armor because we're so proud of it and it's now retired. So we'll take the best pieces, just in case we want to, put it on for old time's sake. So there's our helmet. There's our shirt. There's our pants. And I don't know, can we even put the boots on there? Maybe not. Yeah. Woohoo! So there we go. We can display our old retired armor. And, if we do collections and stuff, if we have a full gold set, we want to put that up, somewhere else. Maybe, maybe in old castles and things, they have the kind of armory room or, a great hall or something with the suits of armor. Along the way, I'm sure lots of people are familiar with the idea of Hogwarts from the Perry Potter, the Harry Potter series, where the castle, a castle where all the kids go to school, is full of various haunted suits of armor that interact with them. So I don't know. We can do something along those lines. I think item frames kind of replace, but it would be cool if there were weapon racks as well. At least I think that would be a cool thing to see, where you oh man, so many vile beasties. And again, we're pretty well equipped now to handle a lot of these guys. I don't want to take the chance of a couple skeletons and a creeper going off where I've already established stuff. It's just not good for anybody. And again, so that to kind of get back to where we were at, we did all the bees in the farm, turned the farm, got a bunch of surplus on some of our early crops, and that's great. We wanted to make this an adventure day, and I think we're going to. We are going to. That's the plan. It's not going to change. All it's going to take is a little follow through, but we do have one decision to make that we haven't to this point. Hey, I want your magic bow. Nope, just a regular one. That was probably from his friend. And that's whether we go on a boat adventure again, kind of leaning that way, I'm not going to lie, or the land adventure that we've talked about to go back to spawn and, just see what else is out around that way. As I've said, and, I think I kind of tipped which way I'm leaning, and it's not an overwhelming lean by any means, but my preference has been, I'm wavering here. I think we're gonna leave those because, as we go on our great quest of adventure, we want to prioritize picking whatever things up we may find. So we don't want to be overburdened with stuff. That being said, we'll top off our stakes, and we've got good tools. We want both shovels and axes. Maybe we don't need all our picks because I don't anticipate that we're going to do just a bunch of mining, really, right? We're gonna kind of tour around, but I would expect if we're going by boat, then we're going to be looking to shipwrecks and those kind of things, and we want to kind of start out aggressively. I think one of the things that we're going to do, we'd done a little bit of each in the play sessions yesterday, and I apologize. I don't, as you rack up a few of them in a given day, I'm not sure of all the distinctions. Like, I know the very last one was primarily around the base, and we did the construction of and kind of finishing of the bees. Got everything set up there, bred a lot of the bees, made a lot of the bee hives. Oh, shoot. We'll get there. As I'm speaking of, and I'm glad I caught it now instead of when I first saw one. The one thing we will do while we're going out, we're going to carry the Silk Touch axe, because if we see more of the actual bee nests, not the hives we make, but the nests, we want to grab those to fill up our spaces between our man-made ones, just to make it look good and consistent, and a blend of both types. So, yeah, we're, it's like leaving the oven on or the curling iron plugged in or something like that when you're leaving for a road trip. It's tough sometimes it can be tough to detach from home. You gotta kind of fight through that. So we'll trade that out. I don't want to carry around a whole bunch of extra stuff. Now I want to carry at least one iron axe because we have to, well, hopefully we'll encounter some shipwrecks, and sometimes you got to break through pieces of those to make them easier. Our Respiration 3 helmet will help with that. When you're trying to get the treasure in the room with a little awkward doorway, you can have a bit more grace time to kind of fumble around with that and not have to worry. But anyway, now we've got our silk touch axe. So as we go, if we just happen to see any bee nests, we'll grab those. Won't help our inventory situation a lot, but I count bee nests as fully worthwhile as emeralds or anything else to pick up. They're pretty good. Certainly diamonds are up there. Treasure maps are important, but again, treasure maps are just going to go, and we have a pretty good idea what we're going to find. But some enchanted books are things we would want to grab regardless. So yeah, this is all stuff that we've kind of seen. I think. I don't know if it was the same swamp, a connection of it, or if they were unrelated. When we were looking for our bees the last time, we went to the flower forest. That was, what, 2-3 episodes ago? Something. I don't want to carry around a bunch of lily pads as we're starting on a long trek adventure. That's not the goal. So I think very early on we had come over to this side of the ice. I made the loop today because I'm not 100% certain if we'd gone all the way around. And tempted as I am to go back in, I don't want to just plow through the swamp, but we'll kind of take our time. I think this is kind of going to be our episode. Well, if we get super overfilled with inventory stuff, we may make some returns or head out in another direction. But we've spent a lot of time at home, and I would like to, well, be out on the water, kind of seeing what we can see, what's out there in our world. And of course, as I'm doing this, I am eyes peeled, and that's why a little bit erratic on the boat thing. And yes, you can mouse turn your head in the boat, which is great. I don't know. The old habit is in part when it used to be that the steering and control of the boats was a little different. In part, once I'm set with the position of my head relative to, oh, there's bee. Do we see his nest? I see a pumpkin. Hi, bee. Where you going? Maybe up this hill? As I said, bees can be a little frustrating at times, not only with what you want them to do, but the fact that they kind of suck you into stuff. I don't see one around. We're not, I don't want to just get into complete wild goose chases on bees. So, if we see them and they're convenient, boom, we got them. If they're not, I'm not going to run all over the place. We saw one bee in that same journey the other day that didn't apparently tie into any particular bee nest. So you've seen it. I've in Worlds Without an Audience, I've spent a lot more time chasing down an individual bee only to find that there's no nests around. And he's just wasting both our time when he does that. So that's okay. Maybe a nice little evening on the beach. Be good. Now, one thing that I kind of have to balance a little bit is, as I start looking for bees or, whatever it is, you start to focus and you can forget that there also may be ships under the water. As you're hugging the coastline, you start dialing in, looking up at the trees and things, and hey, what more do we have underwater that could be exciting? So you just, try to, at least, I'm speaking more to myself. This isn't really, you know, each player has their own preferences, and each little expedition in your own games has its own focus. So there's no right. Sometimes you do want to ignore what's in the water and go, we kind of want a little blend. But above all, the oh, ICB. All right, sir. Why don't you get some honey or not, but go home. When this other one is trapped. He's just like the one that. There he goes. Go on in. I bet you wanted to go inside your little bee nest. And that's what I was talking about when I said that, I'm not sure of all the mechanics of the bee nests, but they have to allow some access back and forth. Now, if one or the other of these two don't come back pretty quickly, then we're gonna just grab the nest and go. We've got lots of bees. The only real concern there, and this is like the villager beds and some of the stuff that we've run into there, is that if you have bees that are associated to a nest and you move that nest away, it may still count itself as occupied. I don't know how all that works. And we don't want to have a nest that no bees back at our farm will actually use, if that makes sense. Everybody kind of clear on that? So we grab this nest, no bees are inside it. We take it back to the farm and hang it up on our rack of bees. And we keep breeding bees and bees and bees and bees and bees, right? And everybody's happy. We've got 100 bees, and we don't even have that much room for them, right? I'm, kind of joking, but you got a lot of bees. But this hive always sits, and it never makes honey. It could do that if these local bees are floating around out here and just, never released the counter or the variable on this bee nest to say that it was back and had available spaces for more bees. We're getting good bee sounds, which is nice. But I don't think I've seen any of them. Okay, here you go. Come on back. Come on back. In you go. All right, so at least one. That's all I really need. Even if that is the case, and I don't know that it is, that's speculation, but it would make sense if it worked that way, like the beds and things do. I'm not so worried about the efficiency of my bee nests and maxing out honey production that I care. If it's got one bee and he or she can eventually fill it up with honey, what that really means is that when I get to the point that I've got as much honey as I need, I can leave it so that it looks full and dripping like all the other ones, and they'll all look like productive hives, right? Some of it's just cosmetic. You don't want to have something that just never fills and sitting there completely vacant. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. Another great place, it's a little further away than what we really want, but another good place to get lily pads and eventually clay. The swamp biome is good, as you can see right here. It has large areas of underwater clay that you can come harvest. So we'd made flower pots in one world. That would be something. just varieties of things like that. So we'll kind of cut across here. I don't think we've really explored much, if anything, of this area. It seems new or at least fully forgotten to me. So that's a welcome change. And again, I'm not, I know roughly we started out going to the east and we're kind of circling around whatever shoreline we go in a more or less clockwise direction until a river or something takes us out to another large body of water and it throws all that back. This may loop us back to the swamp. Yep. So far enough there. Consider that explored. Yeah, we'll just kind of go, and then when we get well in, or we'll see how long it takes us to get there. But if we reach the snowy taiga and our first igloo friends, maybe we turn back from there. Now again, I'll I thought that was a drown for a second. I'll maybe drop the lily pad, whatever lily pads we inadvertently bump into and pick up. If it comes to that, they're not. I like them for the irrigation ditches, as I've said in the past. I think, are kind of a fun, natural way to do it. A little more playful than just load them up with slabs or stairs or something. But we'll see what we end up doing there. Yeah, some nice flowers we could load up there. But I think despite having gone through a stack of the poppies just to get some breeding done on our there's our snow. So we're coming back around. Now again, the snowy taiga can be huge. So while this may still be connected to the same area, maybe far away from the village and the eventual igloo that we had. Some turtles. Still haven't done anything with the turtles yet. Again, that's kind of by design. I like to kind of work in a turtle habitat where they're a little bit contained, a little bit secure when I'm breeding them up. And I joke a lot about harvesting cows and all that kind of stuff. It always seems really tough to justify killing a turtle. That seems just like a bit too much for me, honestly. But yeah, in the real world, I get it. Some people actually raise them, and there are people in cultures where turtle is just prized as a meat, and there's a distinction there, right? If you're going to ravage a beach of vulnerable turtle eggs. Okay, see this island I think this is the same plainsy island, yeah, with the horses, and it just kind of reaches all the way around. So we actually really got further around the compass there than I expected. But good to just kind of keep an eye on things, make sure we're not misremembering or assuming that something is what it is without really knowing. So I was saying, there certainly used to be, way back, kind of in the hey, for science, let's just shoot this animal we've never seen before without knowing anything about its habits or its environment or its population numbers, and that was going out to see the world and cherish it, and in the end you eradicate a whole bunch of species just with shotgun specimen collecting. So But yeah, back in the day when some of the areas were new, gathering of turtle eggs and shorebird eggs and things like that are very vulnerable, right? Because those species did not they've got a number of predators, but they didn't develop with the idea that there would be predators that would just come raid their. This seems familiar. Have we been to this ship? Maybe spend the night here. I don't see that the little grates have been opened. But yeah, without having evolved to account for predation on their shore eggs, a lot of these animals were not equipped. And people are like, "Hey, look at these dumb birds, right? They just make their nests right out here where we can just pick up the eggs. Let's go pick up the eggs." And okay, that's not exactly dumb. They just haven't accounted for it. So, a little bit of rank, but the the hidden part of the story is, by all accounts, a lot of those things were quite delicious. People really liked them, and whether it was just the ease of having them, when maybe you were far from chickens, or maybe it's the real delicacy. And I have had turtle soup before, which is maybe in part because of its rarity. You don't, not something I would ever have many times. I think I've had it once in my life, but it it was quite delicious, and I don't consider myself a monster for having done it. Like most creatures, turtle can be farmed for the domestic market and harvested. So I don't see it as any different from enjoying a steak or something else like that, as long as it's raised, harvest, all that kind of stuff responsibly. So make those distinctions. Ask the questions when you are given opportunities to eat those things or others, and it's a lot of times realizing that there can be hidden. Okay, so we want to go to the north and to the west for this. So let's get back in here. The good thing is we no longer have a shield, so we don't have to worry about that. So I think we'd come from this direction, but I'm a little turned around. All right, so we're going north. West, so maybe this is back on that plains island with the horses that we circled around. Is this the same one or a different one? We'll never know. We could figure it out maybe, but looks like there's a whole cluster of islands maybe. Or just it extended in another direction quite a bit. Alright, we're on the map. Now we've cleared, so let's maybe go around first, because we want to continue in the, yeah, we'll be able to get into that river from the far side. So let's go around here. Hope we can get through. Oh, that's great. And again, not having to deal with a shield all the time really makes these maps easier to do, where you just always have the two-handed view. Pretty good. So again, I knowing that we don't like to hang these on our wall and just have a kind of collage of our past adventures, and knowing my propensity to forget to finish when I get all excited with the treasure in hand, I do, if I can manage it, like to go fill in the corners and then kind of dial back in on my red X marking the spot. Close one little bit more. Alright. So, map's good. Now we just head to shore here. Ooh, on this side of that little point. Into this little bay somewhere. And again, I don't know that it particularly matters, but I had heard, way back when this was a new release, when the undersea. Oh. Okay. Let's go up. Let's get our shovel. See how when you're turned around, you're actually much below, but by facing north, I think we're close on the right spot. Oh, there it is. So yeah, we did pretty well there. All right, lots of gold. We can use that for apples. And again, I'm picking and double clicking, trying to make that exact behavior happen, but it's always been pretty inconsistent for me. And you can just, click on these things as you go. And we'll leave the leather shirt. No real need for that, but see how great that respiration 3 becomes when you can just go through. Now, lots of stuff that, we can kind of deprioritize as we go. We can, snack on the cod and stuff. Hearts of the Sea, I always do try to keep, I usually have far more than enough. Having the stacks of gold and iron is nice, but the iron, increasingly, we don't have to worry about. Nuggets, too, we can always expand those if we make a workbench out of ship pieces. We could combine nuggets if we had way too many into ingots, stack those. So lots of stuff. And of course the fish we can eat or toss or offer to cats. Now the trick is that we want to get headed back the way that we had been. And we'll just give our map here one last look, check all the corners, make sure it's all good, and then let's put it out of the way. Okay, I think we'd seen this Bandit Outpost. I'd really like to be a little better equipped before I go in there. I'll be honest, even before we go, I won't try to build up the suspense too much, although if we come back in a later episode, I may. There's one treasure chest up at the top of the Bandit Outpost. It's kind of junk. There's not great treasure in it. You get, I think you're guaranteed a bottle of enchanting, which is kind of nice. But otherwise, there's not a lot in there to really make it worth it. So yeah, when you've got a great bow and you're just dropping them, it's one thing. If you're just, dealing with the repeated spawning of them, we already have a crossbow, and we don't need a raid. That's the other. Their real value comes late game when you're trying to farm raids, and some of these even get used to, and here close to the village. And this maybe the village that's close to our igloo buddies, where we got salty, or close to where we got salty. Maybe? Is that ice in the water? Oh, I think this is it. Yay! And, we kind of knew it was around here somewhere. But yeah, this is the village. Salty was waiting in the water here for us when we thought we'd lost him, but we got him back. And I don't. No, I think we got Salty close to home, right? We got him at base and took him with us in the boat. But yeah, there's our little pillar. We got to at least go say hi, right? I mean, again, we're not doing any real trading or anything. I don't even have a lectern to try to make them him particularly a book trader, but we can make both. And the non-healed one, I don't know with certainty on this stuff, but I think that when the healed one is the one that always is going to give the best price, because they're kind of forever in your gratitude, right? You save them from being a zombie, and they appreciate that. Their buddy, we end up leaving it here. Anything good? Anything that we now consider good that before we couldn't deal with? Their buddy, who doesn't, was never in mortal peril or had never joined the legions of the undead, they'll still gossip together. And, that's just, we've been rude. There, you guys can at least talk to each other. I know it's like you're in jail, but that wasn't the intent. Yeah, otherwise we got cauldrons. Nice little house plant. I won't take it from. I was thinking about taking it from him, but I'm not going to. And I think that was a pickle. Is that a pickle, guys? We'd like to get some of those. I've talked about them, I think, once. Ooh, sleep. Let me get a sip here. That's some fine coffee. I hadn't even had any yet before the beginning of today's episode. So, we've said hello, made them, reminded them, they haven't just been abandoned in a hole in the ground without being able to get out. But yeah, we'll, the role play, in my mind, sort of begs that you free them out a little bit. You can kind of discern which is which by the offers and all that, but I like to just keep them straight, so I know when I'm getting them set up which one is the recovered one, and can kind of deal with that. And they're always arranged the same way, so it's always the zombified villagers on the right when you look at them in the having come down the ladder. So they'll always be the same there. Yeah, even though it's just two sets of arrows pointing back and forth at each other, and they'll always be that. So when you're then coming back to set up trades, you can got a whole pack, flock, herd, group, school maybe, but they're not fish. Well, what do you guys consider yourselves as a group of dolphins? Oh, I love you. You're wonderful. Now, supposedly, as I've said before, dolphins, in theory, can lead you to treasure. But I don't speak dolphin. I don't know if anybody knows how to make. I mean, I think they're just kind of that real life behavior where dolphins and a number of other fish, certainly the sea mammals, porpoises and dolphins, and some of those will do it. But I believe, and again, I have and do live in Colorado and the upper Midwest, not coastal regions, so I don't have a whole lot of firsthand. I love the ocean when I get to go visit it, but yeah, I don't have a whole lot of expertise, but I do know that dolphins will play in the bow wave of ships. So, as our little rowboat's going through, and I think most people should, know, at the front of the boat, as it cuts through the water, it creates an arc. Oh, this was the pillager outpost that I think we'd seen. But yeah, it creates an arc in the water, and that will spread out in either direction. Kind of makes a triangle as the boat goes through, and a lot of the hydraulics, or the properties of water that go into ship design consist around reducing that. You want to have as minimal a displaced arc. If you're talking like a speedboat, right? The less resistance the water can give you, the less you're going to ripple it out when you go through it. Of course, as you have more weight in the ship, if it's a big container cargo ship, massive, like the one that got stuck in the Suez Canal. But if it's a massive container ship, that's going to be different. Then you're pushing that ship deep down in the water to keep all the weight of the cargo buoyant. The water is resisting on it sinking down into gravity, and as it moves through the water, it's going to create a slow but deep, or not deep as energy laden bow wave. So the ripples that go through have a lot of energy behind them, because it takes that to push all of that suspended weight through the water. Rambling a little bit, I know, but anyway, sea mammals like our dolphin friends here enjoy those, and part with their, with especially the aquatic mammals, their large eyes, they're very visual like we are, and like whales and other, they'll roll and kind of look at the occupants of the ships that are going by as they go, but they get kind of a free boost. They can ride that dissipating energy through the water, and oftentimes you'll see them, they're playing and they're leaping, using that carrying wave of force to lift them into the air, but also push them forward through the water. So good on everybody. And I think this is where we'd maybe cut. No, there were too many mountains there. But I think we'd been in this taiga. It was the first taiga that we'd found, and then we used it to cut through to. This is just. Oh, there we go. Hey, what do you guys try? No trident? As you can see, gets a lot easier to deal with these guys now when air doesn't become your primary concern underwater, and when you can set yourself on the bottom and break a few blocks without having to immediately get new air. Now, doesn't mean that it's not good to top off every once in a while. Hey. So yeah, dolphins should want us to check out around here, because there should be, is that cobble? There should be a chest somewhere in the base of this thing. We've seen those on these structures when they've appeared on land. And again, I know, we just talked about, hey, we got respiration, woohoo, we don't have to come up for air as often. I still do, because if drowned appear, I want to have enough air to deal with them, and not get into trouble. But there we go. So we got a chest. Let's go kind of, one, get air, but two, get all this junk that is going to otherwise fill our pockets first, and we'll put that back into the chest, so that when we do surface, every time you come up, you end up just Oop. Where are you? Oh, there's another one over here. Well, let's not forget the chest that we had. Now, this is the danger of venturing out without a shield, is we are much more vulnerable to tridents. Hey, dolphins, you guys, I know you like to play. If you play with those enough to get them away from me when I surface, I'm down. If you just move them back in when I think I have dealt with them, I'm not going to be as happy. Okay, so we got another one. Oh, he's trapped. Can we deal with him while he's trapped? Can we reach him? Is there a little hole over here? Oh, yeah. No? There you are. Oh, silly. Why? Now, if you're the same one, I'm going to be upset. You couldn't get out of there. Oh, you're still in here. Why can't I hit you? Alright. Enough messing around. Let's go get this chest. It does get dark. Okay. So the coal, wonderful. A lure one fishing rod? I kinda suspect we're not gonna want that. You know what? I'm gonna completely skip it. I'm not even gonna bother. Now, let's come back up. It's getting a bit dark. Let's bring our boat over to shore. See, look at those dolphins. Hey, we'll just put this gravel right by your boat, because you're gonna want that, right? Nothing, nothing special, but I do. If you see it's getting dark and you're in the middle of a lot of this kind of stuff, just go set your bed in advance. You can kind of work up until the point of getting close. Use your full day, and then be ready to hit it again in the morning without disruption. That is a tip. Don't then leave your bed. Again, this is the kind of stuff that ooh, that's what we're looking for. Let's put, well, I don't know that we really even need to carry that around, but nothing else too trashy. But yeah, this is the real advantage of the respiration. Help is that you can go into those enclosed spaces and be perfectly comfortable, taking the time to look at the chest, not rushed. We would have been up and down 5, 6 times to manage that. So we got an emerald. That's pretty good, and we have a new map, which we're right in the midst of. That's very good. I don't know that our boat is going to be a whole lot of advantage, so let's just do the overland. And we just want to get out, not nearly far enough, but occasionally checking to make sure that we're still getting the corner of the map as we go. Just a little bit more. Kind of go around this tree, and that should do it. So this will be a good addition to our little map wall with all the green forest. Make it so they're not all water. Almost there. That's the problem when you're looking, when IRL or Minecraft, when you're reading a map and looking down at it instead of where you're going. Which, I had started a little bit to rave about the weather. Really was what I was doing earlier, but talking a little bit about my yesterday. I don't know that we have berries yet, do we? I don't care that these stay as bushes, so let's just take a few. Yeah, we'll get a few sweet gem berries. Gem berries? Sweet berries. Different game. All right. We just want to make sure we kind of headed back. Oh, and we gotta get this corner. Sorry. Back this way just a bit. Looks like that's good. Head out to the coast. And then a nice moonlit walk on the beach, right? Alright, so we're going to get another treasure chest right in the same area. Again, offshore, the game kind of playing with us, but it had been so kind in terms of on land or just into the water chests in the past that when we really needed that help, then this is pretty good. Alright, now let's do our usual gather up what sand we can. Again, different time in the game, the flint is going to be something that I don't care too much about. Now, just keeping an eye a little bit on our air there. You don't want to completely forget, but more than enough time. We didn't grab the TNT. I certainly, I like TNT, but as you guys have seen, our inventory is already down to a couple spots left, and we haven't really explored too much new ground. Now, the good news is I at least am pretty confident that we haven't gone so far that we can't just head straight south and catch up with our base or the icebergs that go out to the east of it. So that's a good thing, and I think there were some shipwrecks along the way back between that we got, but I don't know when we ran over the snowy taiga how much ground we covered. That part I forget. Get some new ice. Do we remember that ice? I don't know. Well, I guess it doesn't matter too much. Maybe it was back into here. Oh, now I'm really getting the worlds confused. Wasn't there one where we... Oh, no, that was way over on the other side of the map, where we, kind of climbed a hill and cleared some ever... That was back when we were just getting saplings. I remember. Well, since we've got a stack anyway committed to them, let's get a few more of these. Aside from needing to eat one, just to have the food, this is primarily only really needed, and it was added in conjunction with foxes. That's their breeding food, so that's the real use for berries. I think I've talked about it before. I think it would be cool if in the expansion of kind of the food thing, if you could use berries, why not make jam or something that you could then put on the bread? You could turn regular bread into toast with jam or something, and just make a little more depth. And again, I know it teeters on the edge of mod world, right? Those are things that people mod all the time and do well with. Just taking a peek here. I know we're on a boat mission, but sometimes you just want to get a feel for what's beyond. We'd reached the kind of the end of that river, so a little oversteer, easy to do in boats. So what? Oh, I was raving about the weather, right? Yesterday, I still keep seeing cool stuff. I get distracted. What can I say? We went out to throw some discs, and it was beautiful. Late, kind of later afternoon, and I say heat of the day, kind of laughingly, right? It was after that time when you're going to get max sunburn, so you don't have to worry about that. But I mean, we're talking mid 70s Fahrenheit, which is to me just about as good as it can be. And obviously, there's a little bit of a sliding scale, right? Sunny and still mid 70s feels really good. 70 with rain and a bit of wind, and all of a sudden you're shivering. It doesn't take much to mix that up a little bit. But yesterday was just spectacular. A little bit of clouds, and afterwards, we're like, it's me and a couple friends, and we're like, yeah, we've got time. Let's go get some dinner or something. And this is a ways away from my place, but one of the friends that lives over there is like, oh yeah, new Mexican place, not a new Mexican place, not New Mexican place. You have to clarify in Colorado, where we're close to New Mexico, but yeah, so agreed to go try this restaurant, and as I'm driving over there, it's to the west, and here, as I've said, I'm to the east. Everything is to the east of the Rocky Mountains. And I was out far enough to the east that looking back really had a view of the mountains. And the sun was, well, when I was driving home after dinner a couple hours later, it was at full sunset. And again, we're almost to May, and so we're believe it or not, just had snow last week, but now we're only a little ways from the longest day of the year, and you really felt it yesterday, because as I was driving over to get some dinner, the sun was still, degrees up in the air. It was low, it wasn't like overhead just blazing sun, but it was getting low, and it was, you were far enough out you could see like a whole bunch of the above tree line Rocky Mountain tops. And in spring like this, where they've still been getting a lot of snow, everything is still just covered with snow. And it was that kind of, in the Midwest, to give more people a perspective. In the Midwest, you see this a lot when it's been sunny and warm, and the snow over, if you're driving rural areas, or even just around a sports field or something, the fields have kind of, I don't know if I can sleep right next to polar bears. Let's sleep where we can watch the polar bears. I'm talking about sunsets and things, and here goes one. But yeah, as I'm driving, I'm looking up at the tops of these mountains, and when you're far enough back, you can see. It's not just triangle points like you would draw as a little kid on a picture of mountains. There's masses of area up there where you'll have the top of a mountain that's not just a tippy pointy peak. It's a kind of like a bread loaf, right? It's large and broad, massive, and all of that is exposed rock. And in the winter, the snowy peaks of the Rockies. So they're all coated in snow up there, and the sun angle was just right. That having warmed, presumably over the last few days, where it's been bright and sunny, particularly up there. It's been overcast down here a few of the days, but that's another nice thing about living in the mountains. Shh, don't tell anyone. When it's like overcast and cruddy down low, all you have to do is drive an hour, go up, and it'll be a bright, sunny day because you get up above the clouds. Anyway, presumably, way up high like that, since we haven't had any major storms in the last couple days, it's been pretty bright and sunny. So I expect that the exposed sun up there, where it's wind blown and still fairly cold, but with the sun, it gets a crust over the top. And as the sun got low, the mountains were between me and the sun, kind of, and the sun was up at an angle, and they were just glowing this gold, it was gold to the brink of orange a little bit, but mostly a pure gold color, just glowing. And you could tell, this is sun hardened, where it's melted a little bit at the surface, snow, and gotten that crust. We talked about that a little bit in the past. There's days, every time you're like, why don't I constantly remember how beautiful mountains are living here? But and I think every spring, there's always a couple days, or in the winter when the lower foothills are frosted with snow, and the light catches them just right, and they just kind of take your breath away. So one of those kind of moments last night as we were driving over to dinner. Awesome. And then a huge highlight for me, and as I've said, I try to be pretty conscious of what I eat, especially around home when I'm just solo. Try to make smart choices and all that kind of stuff, and I do when I'm out as well. But with the pandemic and all that, really haven't eaten out a whole lot, and the places that I have been more determined by what's their patio like and their spacing than real variety of food. But this was a recommendation of one of the friends, and sure enough, it was spectacular. Mexican place. For anybody that may be watching in the area and is interested, Rosa's, I believe, it's like 144th and I-25, and I've never been there. I don't know how long it's been around. But like Mexico City style Mexican food, what I had was really good, and there were little tiny patio, and the only drawback was patios on the east side of the building, so we didn't really have the sun or the sunset, and the others thought it was a little too cool for comfort. They were both going for sweatshirts and stuff, and I thought it was perfect. There's no breeze, and I was good, but in just a short sleeve kind of button shirt, lightweight. But anyway, that kind of evening, just sit out and enjoy it. And all the other people's food looked spectacular. Service was great. Just wonderful restaurant kind of evening. And again, I'm still awaiting. I'm less than a week away from my second dose of vaccine. Other people, I get it. You're a couple weeks, or you're 2 weeks after your second dose are passing. You're feeling pretty good. I just caution. Hey, there's still a lot of us that aren't there yet. For our sake, if nothing else, if you don't mind, maybe taking it a bit easy for us would be cool. We'd like that. We'll see what this guy does. Oh, nice bee. So this may fill up our trip and wrap it up here. Oh, so loud. All right. Well, we got one more spot. I don't want to overfill, but I don't think we've had any lilacs yet. And growing up as a kid, we had lilac bushes in our backyard. So I'm going to grab the lilacs. They don't look anything like these. These are kind of like the individual clumps. I mean, our lilacs were like a hedge, right? They were bushes, shrub kind of bushes that made a hedge. And they did have like cones of the little purpley flowers, the lilac colored flowers in them. And, at their blooming time, they would look impressive. And that was kind of, ooh, look at them all. That was kind of why I was a little surprised at my allergies earlier this week. Growing up, I knew a lot of people had struggled with lilacs allergy-wise. But, you know, whether it's just the conditioning of growing up with them or whatever, they never bothered me particularly. It bothered me more when I was older, and it became my responsibility to trim them. That was something, but good character. And yeah, lilacs always have a kind of special place for me now. There's another one. We still have one more spot. I wonder if this one has any. Oh, look at all these bees. Taunting. Oh, and now you're going to come out. Both of you. Sure. Alright, well. Neither one has. One is making himself dizzy. The other one isn't moving. Oh my goodness. Super bees. Okay, you. Oh man. That's the one we want if they can all go back inside, but I don't know if they're going to. Now, we don't want to get that dirt block. Maybe we do. Okay. Drop. Oh. Oh, I hope that wasn't it. I don't know. We're going to hope for the best. We're full. Let's now gather up extra lilacs. And then we'll see. We'll check the time on our way back to see what we're at in terms of our adventure here. But we need to make a return back with all our loots. We certainly got a lot of lilac bushes. That's great. And these are the peonies, and of course these are the roses I think that we have. I don't know why I always think those. I think begonias, scarlet begonias, when I see those. Oh, I'm crazy. Now, did I pick up my boat? This is the way we came in. Where did we park? Dude, where's my car? Maybe we parked back over on this side. Uh-oh. South, so this is home. We came in here, right? And then we were going back this way to get our bee nests. Any boat would do. Right? Oh. There's another bee nest. Where's our boat, though? Sheep! Help, sheep! I'm losing my mind. This is crazy, right? We had a boat. We came in here. We came from that direction. We got to go home in that direction. I'm really baffled. Well, I guess we're going to have to... Really? We're going to go over to this tree. So that we'll be free. We can just stack the stuff that we want to bring back. Unless our boat just shows up somewhere. Dolphins, did you steal my boat? Wait. Yeah, okay, now we can sleep. Did I just reverse it? Did I just look south and think north when I mean that's west, right? That's the way the sun's been going down. Yeah, this is north. I don't know. This isn't worth it. we can take down a tree. Now we'll have to do the old inventory juggle, but we can do that. Okay. Cop. And get away from those. Boom. And boom. And boom. And boom. And boom. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Don't know how I lost my boat. Dirt. Come on. Really? Well, at least I'm not crazy. I knew I got here in a boat. Okay, so again, hoping I'm not crazy, we're gonna go back this way. So while we're going, I wish I could keep voting while I'm checking. Just checking the time. 1:16. So we'll see how much of an adventure it takes us to get back. But not in a real rush here. I do just want to keep these episodes short, so we may drop off, restart, start a new episode, and then go again. We'll see. Oh, one other thing I wanted to do, which okay, so like negative 2,800 and negative like 2848. We'll see if that gets us back to this area. All right, we'll sip here while we're boating. So we did pretty decently, I think. We got that's that little iceberg patch we saw. We got 2 maps to hang on our wall. We got some emeralds, some diamonds, a lot of gold, some iron. Obviously, 3 bee nests, each with some bees, and another stack of a different type of flower. Very cool. We got swing wide of the temple there. Now, I think we've seen this little water thing before, right? I think we left the sea lantern because we didn't have any silk touch on a pick, which is okay. Another thing we can start to grab, though, if we do apply that. Whoa! Again, in water, just like on land, little baby zombies are faster. So, second only to tridents. You want to get them. This is nice. I mean, we've been stuck at level 36 for quite a while. A couple episodes here. Again, we haven't done anything to really garner much XP efficiently in recent episodes. So, maybe we can just reach through the window here. That's got a map. Now what? It's this that's our garbage. Take those, and let's take another map. Let's just see. well, it's, we'll go a little bit in the direction we want to. Maybe back over into the ice flows there. Let's just go see if we have anything over in this one. There's only so much fish you can just throw away. What's our access here? This. Again, I can hear a drown. That's something to be aware of, at least. So nice to just be able to camp out, though, and do a bit of this. Now, he must be trapped somewhere. Again, worth getting down as far as you can first, and then digging your way with your feet on the ground. Oh, I thought that was gravel. Still not seeing any chests in this little building, though. And they, it's kind of nice. They can be stashed in a variety of spots around these things. Oh, this one's big, though, so... But I kind of think each one has at least one somewhere around it. And we got time. We got a respiration helmet. We might as well give it a look. And, it could be scattered around the outside. Just... I like to give them a full, good look. Try to get anything if there is something there. Well, I heard you talking, buddy. Gurgling. But... We'll swim the perimeter. see if that shows us anything. Here's one over here. This is different, right? I've been talking you guys up as having gold bars. Nobody believes me, because so far, none. Can't eat underwater. It just always seems a little wrong to me. You at least got to be able to have some air while you're chewing, right? Oh, okay. Figure out where it's coming from. There it is. Now, we can decently dodge while swimming. Oh. It's kind of like the... Oh. Whoa. Hey. This is why I don't like the kelp. Huh? Oh, this would be the time, too. I don't, Do we see a trident floating around anywhere? And again, these don't count, right? You can't pick up the ones that they throw. It's only a dropped one, and it would kind of look like just a dropped shovel or something in the water. It wouldn't have that same length. No, I mean they're rare, right? This is something that people build farms for to try to get, but I'm not opposed to relying on a bit of good fortune. Oh, we got up to level 37 at least, and he didn't trash our armor too badly as a result. And we got a map, so that's good. Okay, let's go over to this island. We could sleep on the roof there, but it doesn't. And this is kind of going a little bit opposite the way we want to for the map, but oh well. All good things. Get a little of the temple sound. Another little sip of coffee while I'm waiting there. Okay, so it was to the southeast. Oh, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So we'll just plug away. Maybe by that island. No color on the map yet. Wait. North is home. South is adventure. Should have known that. So easy to goof. But you guys can see how I got that, right? See how and this is the right spot to show. So if we go back this way, see how the spot just got dark or smaller? So a small spot means you're off the map and you're far away. And then as you get closer to range, boom, your spot becomes bigger. So something, that was what tipped me into, hey, you're making a mistake. Whatever you think is right is not at the moment, so correct it. I hope this isn't, it can't be that other island map that we had. That one was a different shape. Okay. Oh, so we're going to go, well, I guess we got to go around the ice. Because I don't think ice would show up as the land mass. That kind of structure looking thing over there, I'm pretty sure that's always just snow on top of icebergs. There's no like igloos in the middle of the frozen ocean. Although until I'd seen it, I'd never thought there were shipwrecks in the middle of the frozen ocean either. Okay, now at least we're getting close. And again, sorry, this kind of took us back out of our return trip home, but most anything that we... sorry, that's a spam risk, but a reminder that I should have muted my phone and that I brought it over here for to look up the armor stand earlier. So sorry about the ringtone there. Okay, we're close. We'll turn back around. No. Tough to see my little pointer under the X. There we go. Back one more. Okay, right about here. Switch into shovel mode. Don't shovel under your feet. There it is. Nope. There is dirt. Making us dig for this one. That's okay. We can certainly use up the shovel. And I said once, you know, to my knowledge, will always be under sand or gravel. Never dirt or any others. And as I said, you know, it's pretty predictable what you're going to find in those chests. So once you've done one or two, you can kind of continue to jam your stacks with stuff. Okay, now express trip home maybe. We'll see how far we get on this stage of the adventure. But that's why the timing and this will work out very well. I think, you know, at some point we'll get past new exploration. Is, you know, that area that we've covered everything and closer to home gets wider and wider. But this should get us back, you know, within our normal episode time and let us unload all our stuff. And then I think I'm going to come back and do it again, because that's what we do. And, you know, the larger mission here, I haven't really talked about it, but teasing a particular biome we have yet to see, but would, I think, greatly enhance the building projects that we've been doing, and it is just fun in and of its own right. I think it's a great one. Often I'll make kind of a secondary base, you know, the rare exceptions when I have the good fortune to spawn in or be real close to one at spawn. I'll often do we do it again? Should we do some more play? Oh, uh-oh. Wake up. Come on. I know, you weren't happy about the boat. I hope you guys are still good. Okay. There we go. Now, if you ever get a hang like that, let's do this, just to try to be safe. Okay, where's our temple? I probably can't see our temple, our little structure there. Just to be safe, because that was wonky when we got out, clearly. I'm going to come over here. Let's drop our... Did we already drop the cod? Already? Okay, paper, your turn. Sorry, guys. So let's leave that. Let's pick up our boat. As I mentioned previously, boats can make, when you get in and out of boats, sometimes they can have just a weird reaction with the world that makes that little quirky behavior. What's going on over there? It's got to be a drowned, but I don't know what he's holding. Or was it just some weird visual artifact? It looked like a drowned, like holding something that was glowing in his hand. I don't know. I don't see it anymore. Reminds me of a image in a sci-fi book series that I enjoyed a lot as a young adult kid. A mending fishing pole. I don't know. Do we want that? Might be nice to combine it with... that sound is the sizzle. You know, if these guys get out of the water, they they will get burned like other zombies by the sunlight. And so sometimes as they surface, if they have that little bit of momentum that pops them up and out like that, they'll give a little sizzle. So a mending fishing rod, I don't think that's worth dumping gear for, though. Is it worth the paper? Probably. Now that we've got sugarcane. Okay. What I should do, let's do this right. Go up. Obviously the boat has already been an issue, so let's do this the right way. So we're going to come up. We're going to... Oh, did we do that whole treasure map? Man! This is when it happens. And it's getting dark out. Okay, boat is now planted. Go down, get the fishing pole. Then we'll review our map. And this is kind of silly. I mean, it's really... We just have it. We can combine it with some fishing pole later on. I don't see any reason to fish to mend a fishing pole. Yeah, I knew it. Oh man! All right, so that's east, south. Back we go again. Right, this is south. I'm not crazy. Oh, this is why I need to chat. This is why we need to be in a live environment. You guys can all scream and rage. You're going the wrong way. You forgot. You've got to go back. And so on and so forth. That must be like an exposed magma block. Yeah. It's weird that it's usually, they're like inset in the surface of the underwater. Hi, Skelly. Yeah, nice little island. I'm going to take it from you. Or we could sit on the opposite islands and have an arrow fight. But I think we'll just take it from you. Boat by daylight. Because we don't have running lights. And if you don't have running lights, you should not be operating a boat in daylight. Okay. East, we got to go all the way back past these icebergs again. Good news is I'm getting to really enjoy this cup of coffee that I had. So, I was talking about the fun new Mexican restaurant I ate at last night. And, again, very tasty. Strongly recommend for people in the area. Go check them out. If you tell them that Hambbage sent you, they'll be like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. But you can try. Maybe they'll give you a discount. Oh, Hambbage, woohoo, discount. So anyway, while I was there, and I made no secret, I love food. Oh, this is a gravelly mountain, by the way. So this is a modified gravelly mountains. I don't know what the particular modification is in this one, but this is a great source of gravel later on when you want to make gunpowder or concrete. That can become a precious resource. So the other place with Res 3, you can do it at the bottom of the ocean too. It just slows you down a little bit, but if you have conduits and things, you can just bounce those around and gather up concrete out or gravel off the bottom of the ocean. So anyhow, let's get this map out. So having never been there but seen this one other table of people that was outside on a small patio, they were there before us. Their food came out before we'd even really ordered, and they're eating. Oh, it's gonna be great on the wall. Some snowy mountaintops, love it. So they had some different types of food. We were asking oh, that looks good. What's that? That kind of stuff. And I was asking the waitress, what are some recommendations? And she, good server, right? She's like, oh, I love it all. There's nothing bad. What are you in the mood for? And I was like, well, it's kind of the problem, right? I've been looking at your menu. Everything looks really good. And I don't know, I don't know particularly what I'm in a mood for. So, what are your favorites? That kind of stuff. What's the house specialty? Anything that is a not can't miss. Well, one of the things she said was, and I apologize already about the mispronunciation, but molcajete, molcajete, kind of a stonish. It looks a little bit like an urn, or like the mortar. It's the mortar in the mortar and pestle. That's the bowl, right? Either way, it's a kind of bowl, heavy, like inch thick, stonish type bowl on legs, like 3 little legs. It's on its own little tripod looking thing, and you can, I doubt restaurants really prepare the food in it, but you can heat them up. It's kind of like a fajita skillet, right? You heat this up and it helps keep the food warm. And so that was kind of what she said. Oh yeah, really good. And it was, in fact, they were saying it was a molcajete fajita. So you would get tortillas to the side, but it was kind of a sauce in the bowl with, in combination of, or either chicken, steak, or shrimp, and then, kind of in a sauce. So it almost was stew-like, and looked really good. But since the other people were having that, I was like, well, I'm going to try something different. So I had a mole Madeira. It was kind of just a platter as opposed to like an enchilada or anything like that. And they had the mole sauce on an enchilada as well if you wanted that. But I decided to get the platter. I didn't need all the extra stuff. So that was with plantains and beans, and the plantains were a little sweeter, and I often wonder, if you're getting plantains in the United States, are you really getting plantains, or are you just getting bananas? Sometimes I wonder, and the exact distinction of those, I at least sense more of a difference when traveling, from the Chiquita banana that you may have with breakfast or after you've been out on a workout to boost your potassium. Now what? Come on. Seriously? Are you kidding me? Where is it? So, anyway, very good. Excellent food. Really good. And something I wouldn't normally have. Any of the sauces and things, I already know. Restaurants, whether you get them pre-prepared in or packaged in a store, any of that, most of them are already pretty sweet to begin with, and that, the sugars and stuff, I definitely try to minimize. So not something I would normally have, but it was the first time in a while I'd done anything, and they really, they didn't have a lot of the things. One of the things that I'll often get, especially if I'm at a sports bar or something like that, because a lot of my hanging out is watching the game. At least it was until the pandemic. Going hanging out with buddies and watching a game or something. So a lot of times, I'll do oh, you guys have chicken wings? Can I just get some of those naked? So none of your sauces, whatever, just, bake or grill them, preferably to deep frying, and keep them naked, or dry rub on some peppery, hot dry rub. Is a little better. That gets very salty, but you pick your poison a little bit. But some of those sauces, are just, if you look at bottles of dressings and sauces and things in the grocery store, you'll see usually the first ingredient is corn syrup on them. So, you're be aware, you're kind of adding soda or something like that to your food and slathering it on. So anyway, it was a kind of rare thing, and probably that made it taste even better for me. But that's the point, right? You keep those things for treats and special occurrences, and don't just make a habit of doing that every day, and you're going to be okay. So that was what I did. But as we were all like, holding our bellies, like, oh man, I'm so full, I can't believe I ate all that kind of stuff. And she's, coming back out to get the check and everything. The other table had like, shared some desserts or something. And they were a bigger party. It looked like a family, maybe husband and wife and some older adult children. But they had like these, little like cheesecakey bite things. And one of my other friends was like, well, we need to at least hear about the desserts. We're not going to eat any of them. And she said, oh, you have to try the guava cheesecake. And I went, what? She said, guava cheesecake. You may not have heard of it, but am I going the wrong way again? Where's this snowy taiga? We already saw our igloo buddy, so we passed this along the way. Going north. Double checked it. So anyway, she said, yeah, guava cheesecake bites. And I was like, guava is my favorite thing. Are you kidding me? You guys have a guava item here? And I didn't have it. I was too full. Not going to push it. And sweets and that kind of stuff, I really try to avoid. But it was kind of cool. We had this little chat. She was like, guava's my favorite fruit, and she was from Mexico City. I don't know if she was if it was a family restaurant or what. Didn't get into it with her, but she was from Mexico City, and there guava was a pretty available and common crop fruit thing. What? Wow. I don't know if that's worth it. I thought that was going to be obsidian. We had a broken gateway. Let's, just to remind ourselves, if we ever see this again, let's do this up in torches. Again, I'm trying. Wow. Yeah, it's like, dude, this is a messed up ship. This is halfway in an island. We'll sleep while we're here. Gonna take a sip while we wait for the sun to go down. So I've many times said I grew up in the upper Midwest, and guava is not a thing that you really find there. At least you didn't. Probably more so now. And I mean, honestly, I haven't tried, but I'm sure with Amazon or Whole Foods online or any of those kind of things, you could get guava without much trouble at all now. But as a kid, you really, at least as I knew, I was a kid, right? I wasn't doing grocery shopping. I was a kid, but you couldn't really get it. It was kind of a luxury deal. And even today, when I go look in the grocery store, not that I buy a lot of jams and jellies at this point in my life, but you don't see it, even on the little kind of top fancy artisanal jellies and stuff in the aisle in the grocery store. You don't see guava products, at least that I see. And you didn't when I was a kid. And as I've said a couple times, we had relatives and family down in Florida, and we'd go down. And the first time, I think I was probably 4 the first time I went down. I could be wrong, but that's 4 or 5. And since we've got a long boat ride, when I was a little kid. This will reveal a bit more about my age, I'm sure, than most people like to probably reveal on the stream, but I was a pretty little kid. I won't say exactly how little, but pretty little. Not 4, I was wrong. We went down for a family vacation to Florida. This was not the one that had the long road trip. I was older for that, where we were, stopping at various places and seeing things. But when I was pretty little, we went down as a family, and I think we did like Epcot Center, and we may have gone into Disney in Orlando, but we were. My parents were more down with Epcot as kids. I think we've seen this. I think we decided we didn't need any of that. I hope I'm going back to my boat the right way. Man, I should do better at not not just running around. So story within a story, we went to Florida, and my grandparents were with us, and so it was my parents and my sister and I and my grandparents, and we were down in Florida. And I think my parents and I had kind of bounced around, and then my grandparents had gotten a condo on one of the it was Siesta Key, I think that was the key that we stayed at. Again, long time ago. Memories subject to being inconsistent, but at some point along the way down there, and I think it was probably my grandparents, because they were both, one was from Georgia, one was from Florida, but they'd both been, grown up down in the area. I think one of them said, "Oh yeah, this is a real treat, guava jelly," and I'd had it, absolutely loved it, and they knew that. So while we were down there, there are a few things that, as my grandparents having lived down there, and my mom having, been raised by them, and that was their, kind of their family traditions and stuff, and having moved as a young couple up. Okay, now we have to worry. Are we? We're getting Savannah. Have we looped past? Let's hang on 1 second. Let me pull up the thing so we can get home. Base negative 546, so we got a long way to go, and 1375. So we're close on the Z. Close 600 blocks. That's close. But we're about 2,500 or so in the too far to the negative on the X. So yeah, we have come. So as I was a little worried there, I think we've snagged the point of land that we've gone back and forth across on some of our adventures. Maybe. Oh man, we don't have room in our inventory to do this well. Okay, we'll just follow the coast. But yeah, I think we missed our torch that told us that we were at our furthest land. We've swung all the way around our Mushroom Island, and we need to get back southeast to get us clear. So anyway, in my story, so while we're kind of at this, it's very laid back, little kids playing on the Gulf Beach. Very faint and few memories from being a little kid on that trip, but because it was a vacation and different from everyday life, there are things that still stand out to me, all these decades later. I remember we had the old school like wooden tennis rackets, and they had tennis courts, so we were trying to play tennis. as a little kid for me and my sister, 4 years older, trying to play tennis, and we'd go play on the beach, and I was a little scared of the seagulls because they'd get, at first it's, oh yeah, we'll take out some bread, we'll feed the seagulls, and then there's all of a sudden there's way too many, and as a little kid you're like, too many, and they were pecking at your fingers if you didn't let go of the bread enough. But one thing that happened while we were there was the Miracle of Michigan. The Miracle of Michigan. That's my Colorado in me. The Miracle on Ice game was played while we were there, and I remember I wasn't watching it very closely, but I remember my folks and everybody were watching what was a rebroadcast. It didn't air live. There's the marker torch. We just missed it. So now we know where we are. We'll pass Mushroom Island more than likely on the way back, and kind of cut the corner here, getting back home again. So cool trip. Again, more little fun memories of me, and probably a little too much information about how far back my life goes. But that was a real highlight, and I absolutely fell in love with guava jelly. And while we were down there, my mom and my grandma would stop. There's a chain of grocery stores where I grew up. They may have been absorbed by now, I don't know. But they had one branch at this island in Florida because it was a place where a lot of people did the snowbird thing, which is, for people in the upper Midwest, a lot of, retirees in particular, but, it kind of grew out of the farming culture, right? That rural attitude that if you've worked hard all through the summer, you've gotten your fields already in the fall, after, excuse the hiccups, after you harvest everything, you plow the old corn stalks under if you grow corn, or whatever. And if you're not a dairy farmer or something where you have to stay there to look after your animals, you get the winter off. That's the trade-off, right? And as they say with farmers in the summer, you work your tail off, sunrise to sunset, and oftentimes beyond, in especially planting and harvest, right? The middle of the year, you've got to do some maintenance. You got to make sure that your crops don't get overrun with weeds or things like that, and they're getting the right water and all that kind of stuff. And you got to do a lot of. We're so straining. We've exposed a lot of chunks while we've been out on this boat adventure. Other than while the crops are growing a lot, you get a little bit of a break, and while it's winter, you get a real break. There's if your tools are in good shape, you don't and who repairs your own tools? Farmers do a little bit, but even that, even today, a lot of that stuff, so much of it is automated. You don't have shovels and things that you're dependent on. As long as your tractor doesn't need to go into the mechanic shop for maintenance or anything, you're in pretty good shape. You don't have a lot to do, and you got some long isolated days with just your family. I mean, you guys, everybody's gotten a taste of it during the pandemic when you're kind of shut up in your home with your family and nobody else around. Well, if you live in a farmhouse that's, a couple miles from your nearest neighbors, and all you've got are your siblings, you can figure out pretty quick why things like ice skating and snowshoeing and all those have remained sports and popular. People just need their space a little bit, and for the first time, a lot of people had to endure that for a few months, and they go nuts. Well, that's the way of life, and certainly was back 150 years ago. And you would move out there, you couldn't just pick up and go somewhere for a few months. Well, nowadays you can, and a lot of farming families do. They'll go to Texas or Florida or, Arizona is very popular nowadays with, people that particularly like to golf. But, it depends what your interests and your hobbies are. But, yeah, people will go to southern type states for the winter months and kind of ride out the winter as a long vacation and a chance to recharge before they start the next farming season. Oh, man. Look, I want to go to sleep. So, what was that all about? Why did we need to... Well, because so many people do that, this grocery store chain had put up a branch down. It's probably their reason as grocers. They kind of needed to be around. But if you've got a store down in Florida, that's your excuse to go check on we gotta go check the Florida store, right? It's gonna be 20 below in blizzards for the next few weeks. So let's plan our Florida trip. So, but they had items that were familiar to the Minnesota people, but in reverse, they had a lot of local things that wouldn't necessarily be common back up in the Midwest, and wouldn't have the demand. So while we were down there, my grandma and my mom, the two things that really stand out for me were they would get guava jelly, obviously, because my grandpa in particular, but I also really like guava jelly, and the other was key lime juice, just the juice, and then my grandma would make key lime pies back up at home, throughout the year, and that was, everybody gets, kind of the restaurant key lime pie, kind of with just the jello-y pudding filling. I'm just gonna say right now, she's long passed, and God rest her soul, but there's a huge difference between grandma's key lime pie and the stuff that you just get out and about. So that was a fun memory rekindled last night. Was guava and finding a fellow guava aficionado out there. And I think she was as surprised and delighted that somebody was like, "Oh, no, I don't care about your cheesecake. Like, take that away. I don't care. But tell me about the guava." And she was talking about, "Oh, do you know guava paste?" And I was like, "Should I? What is that?" But I would guess that's kind of an ingredient or something that can be brought up. So I'll have to look into that and see if I can maybe do some of my own cooking or something with guava, because it's a taste I love. And honestly, I'm not real sure what a guava fruit would look like, or what that exactly is or means. I don't know, but I do love it. And the only other thing up here that I've seen of late that features guava, I've seen two different micro breweries that had guava flavored beer, and kind of, for those of us who are adult and drink beer, may go to some of the different microbreweries recently, and I say recently, kind of increasingly over the last 10 years, various fruits and flavorings have been added as the number of small independent breweries have exploded across the country. Everybody wants to try something out that sets them apart or makes them a little different. So, anything is fair game when it comes to fruits and additional flavorings to the base beer that you're brewing. And so I've had a couple opportunities to have some guava beer, which, not my favorite application of guava, I'm going to say. I don't particularly like fruity beer to begin with, and yeah, if you got good guava, don't waste it. Is my opinion, but that is mine. So guava paste is something, but I had a fun fun opportunity to extol on the glories of the guava fruit. And anytime you get to do that, it's a pleasure. So good stuff there. Now we're gonna be full up on coal. Let's go put our bees away while it's daylight. We'll introduce them to their new friends. And what we'll maybe do is go down as far as we can where there's already structure in our bee hives. Oh, look at how many are now cranking out the honey. We'll take these guys down and kind of let them start filling up around here. So we'll do these 3. And then we can hang our maps. I haven't checked the time. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna. Okay, now hopefully some of those will have bees popping out eventually. But yeah, as we get back to our bees, we can kind of, hopefully if we get some of those breeding, we'll spread out the actual bees, kind of grow a mini second population that'll help fill in a little bit. So the one thing we didn't find was the biome we're hoping to come across, but that's okay. The longer you go without it, the more treasured it will be when we do find. I need those. And I need those. Item. 1, 2, 3. Boop. Okay, so we've got maybe there. Are they there? Let's do those. Okay. Random chance. Oh, this is our mountains. Let's put the mountains up against the wall. Oh, looks good. This, a lot of sea. Maybe that connects pretty well. And then what do we have on this one? Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, it's a little random. And, what a lot of people will do when you're making your own maps, you can expand out, above your base or something. Once you're going, you can make a blown up map, and if you add maps around the outside, these will be lower resolution. So you're basically pulling back and looking at a larger, like a world map as opposed to a map of your city. So you can make a collage of much of your known world around. Maybe we'll do that in a different building, because again, this is just a tower, right? This isn't our long-term residence. I don't think it's just kind of letting us get going. I am delighted to have, now we can, without our iron in there, we got a place to put this fishing pole. Books. More nuggets. I got so many iron nuggets. Heart of the Sea. Was that our... we must have had some prismarine, otherwise it would have gone down lower on the stack, so... that's good. Sticks can go away. I'm pretty happy with how we came out there. We want to flip our shovel, repair, flip our inventory of shovel. Just because we don't want to carry around a beat up one on our next adventure. We'll top off our single stack of torches, and we'll run over here and drop off our lilac bushes. Well, this has been some fun memories. Again, sorry, we kind of got stuck there at the middle on our return when we bounced back and forth to complete the map. But I am excited. That map having the mountain tops on it is cool. I like that one. So here we are. Let's just see. Are we already over? We are. Okay. We won't even feed the animals. We'll just wrap up here. Take a quick break, reset a little bit, and then we'll head off again. Do a new one. So, and I will close everything and try to relaunch. Haunted, very much so. All those spooky spirits and things that we haven't even gotten to. Thank you so much for coming in, tuning in, enjoying the content, I hope, or enduring it, as the case may be. Either way, I appreciate you being here and would encourage you to go ahead and hit the like. Go ahead and click on the surprise if you want updates about future videos being released. At the moment, they're coming fast and furious, but that's always subject to change, and I want to keep you guys in the loop. And as I've said before, it's always appreciated, if you know somebody that enjoys Minecraft like you do, or clearly as I do, go ahead and spread the word. I'd love to have them join in the fun. And as always, your comments are welcome. If you've got something that you particularly enjoyed or recommendation of something you'd like to see, let me know. Do my best to accommodate it. But for now, and until the next time, you guys take care. Stick your head outside, whether it's night or day. There's always something cool going on outside in nature, and it's your chance to go see it. So enjoy. We'll see you next time.